diamond painting addicts. Welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today to share with you another finish. I'm so excited. Today, I'm going to be sharing the finish with you of a project that I used a lot of my round spares for, and that is my slow jazz cross stitch conversion. So these are the release papers that I made so that I could work on the kit. I have all the colors here. Happy to report I didn't run out of anything. I did make one mistake. Well, in all honesty, I probably made more than one, but the one that I didn't notice until I was finished or halfway finished was that there were several colors that I did not have. So I substituted other colors. So for instance, I did not have spares of 3022 DMC, so I substituted 3052. I didn't have 842, I substituted 3782. I didn't have 976, so I substituted 436. What I didn't realize until I was about halfway done was that there 436 was already a color in here. So I ended up basically having two colors that instead of being similar were almost exactly the same. Now I have different dye lots in here. So I tried to pick different dye lots so that it would be noticeable, but I don't think it worked. Live and learn, right? Had plenty of drills, obviously, since I was using spares. Now I will say, let me move this out of the way. I will say, so here's the sheet with all of the DMC codes and how many of each that you would need. So here is the sheet after I marked all over it. And I will say that I had a really difficult time doing this, just trying to keep track of it myself. Because essentially the canvas is blank, there's just white squares, there's no symbols on it or anything like you would get with a mystery kit. So I was having to keep track myself. Now there were grid lines on it, so I basically counted up 10 because that's the grid lines. 10 drills were the grid lines on the canvas. And I made pencil marks. And then as I finished a section, I would move through that section with my black ink, and then I just folded the paper. So you can see here, as I finished this section, I drew my line and then I folded it over, and I knew I had all this to do. And essentially I got down to this last little section here with all my folds, and this was the last little section that I did. But I'm sure that I made mistakes because it's really hard to count my pencil marks. I did it with pencil first because I didn't want the black ink to run, and they were sometimes hard to see where the edges of the corners of each section were. This section in here where it's supposed to be their two faces kind of layered on top of one another is where those colors kind of came together. So you'll see what I mean there. But definitely would prefer to do this if I'm going to do another cross stitch conversion, to be able to use Pattern Keeper so that I could highlight, upload the PDF into Pattern Keeper, highlight the drills as I do them. I just think it would be easier for me to keep track than trying to do it with a pencil and everything like I did here. Perhaps if I had printed this out in black and white and then colored in as I did each one, it might have been more helpful doing it that way, but I didn't think of that until after I was over halfway finished. And at that point, I just thought, I'm just going to keep doing it. And because the background was white, it was really hard on my eyes because there's no symbols. It's just plain white. And then trying to figure out going from here to white and then back again and trying to make sure that I put everything in the right place. And this was just a computer render. So there's lots of places where it's, one here, count down 2 over 1, count down 3 over 4, that sort of thing. So I probably made more than one mistake, but that's okay. What I have learned is that I would much rather have a pattern on the canvas. So while I can do a cross stitch conversion, I think rather than actually having Pattern Keeper, I'm still probably going to try one like that. But I think my preference would be to have it printed on the canvas. So if that means I've got to do a custom or something, then maybe that's what I need to do. So yeah, here's my marked up one. Let me grab the canvas and I'll show you what it looks like. Ta-da! Here it is. So I think it turned out really well, actually. I like the different reds in her hair. I think his hair with the highlights in his hair turned out nicely. The one thing that I didn't like, if you look in the original picture, his lapel is kind of that dark green the whole way, and it's gray in the photo here. Not quite sure why that is, because it looks like this was just a straight computer render, so I don't know. But I do think her hair, her little 20s Charleston hairstyle looks really good. I don't think their faces are distinct enough where they meet in the middle. I think you can tell, where his nose line is and everything, but I wish in the image here you can see that there's a black line. So I wish that had been translated into the computer rendering or however they did it so that it was a little more distinct, because there is a line like where his nose is, but not here. And there weren't a whole lot of sections where there was some multi-placing. It looks like multi-placing here, but there's really like 3 different colors there. This bit and this bit were some multi-placing. This bit and his lapel were some multi-placing. These are 2 different colors. And I had several of these, like this orange and this red and this orange here, where I had different dialots in there. So that's kind of why some of her hair is not as distinct, but I think it turned out okay. I'm really, really happy with it. I'm actually going to frame this one. Well, I don't know if I'm going to frame it. I think I'm going to frame it if I can find the right size. And then I'm going to hang it up somewhere where I can see it, somewhere down here in my sunroom where I can see it, because I'm actually really proud of this. So I will, of course, have taken some B-roll so that you can keep track of it. It took me about 10.5 hours to do this one because it is a lot of tedious working back and forth from the pattern. It's much easier just to look at a symbol and go, okay, this is where all of these colors go, versus wait, 1 over, 2 down, 3 over, 4 down, 6 over. No, I'm in the wrong square now. There were several times where I realized I was in the wrong square, so I had to pull off some drills and do that. But super happy that I did this one. I actually have another one, another conversion that I bought at the same time as this one. It's a portrait. It's just one person. I don't even remember what it looks like, but I may go back and check it and see if I want to do something like that. I'll have to think about it because I don't have any more blank canvases. Super happy with this one and the way that it turned out, and can't wait to frame it and hang it up. Hubby thinks it looks really good too. So again, I went back and looked. I paid $1.50, I think, for this pattern, and it came in round and square. So if you wanted to do it in a square instead of a round, you can do that. In fact, both patterns that I bought came in both round and square. I just chose to do round because I had the diamond dots blank canvases and those are made for round, so that's what I did. But I think it looks good even for a round. So it probably would have looked better as a square too. That's okay. I got to use up all of these square, or I don't know why I keep saying square. It's a square picture. I got to use up all of these round drills, and I had fun doing it, even though it was a little tedious at times. But now I have another finish, so yeah, super happy with it. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you think? Would you consider getting a pattern like this? Like I said, it's a digital download. You pay $1.50. You get the information. I think it comes with both a printed and a black and white version. So if you wanted to do the black and white version where you could color it in, and then you get this page that has all of the drills that you're going to need and the DMCs and all of that, so that you can kit it up and do it that way. But super happy with it. And I got, like I said, I got 2 different ones at the same time. So I got this one and then I got another one. And I'll stick a link to the place where I got them from. She does have other ones for sale too. So you might take a look and see if there's something out there that you'd be interested in doing as a cross stitch conversion. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm giving myself a pat on the back for finishing this one and sticking with it, even though about halfway through I was ready to tear my hair out. But again, I think it turned out really good. So that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.